Welcome to this Gruen Systems training video. In this video, we will demonstrate a proper installation of Gruen Systems linear shower system using our pre-slope linear pan, a bonded waterproofing membrane, and a linear drain assembly. Start by wiping down the shower pan substrate with a damp sponge to remove dust and create a clean bonding surface. Next, trowel modified thinset mortar on the front half of the shower floor using a 1/4 inch by 3/8 of an inch square notch trowel. Flat trowel the back side of the front half of the pan to achieve full contact. Then set the pan into the mortar bed. Apply firm hand pressure across the surface to make sure the pan is fully embedded. Continue by installing mortar on the back half of the shower floor. Place the rear section of the pan into the mortar, joining it to the front half of the pan. Walk the pan in place to ensure full embedment. Dry fit the sheet membrane over the pan, mark the corners, and trim as needed. Confirm that everything fits properly. Then roll the membrane back up and set it aside. Install the Gru Connect into the bottom of the drain flange. Verify that the drain pipe height is correct. Apply modified thinset mortar to the flange area of the shower pan using a 3/16 inch by 1/4 inch V-notch trowel, making sure to flat trowel the bonding surface first. Back butter the underside of the flange, then install the flange with the Gru Connect into the drain pipe and the pan. Roll the membrane into wet mortar and embed using the flat side of your trowel. Continue applying mortar across the back section of the shower pan. Roll remaining membrane into the wet mortar and flatten by hand. Fully embed the sheet using the flat side of your trowel. Finish this section by applying mortar to the corner transitions in the bottom of the wall. Roll the membrane up the wall into the wet mortar and embed it with the flat side of the trowel. Continue applying mortar to the remaining wall areas. Place the next membrane section at the bottom of the wall into the wet mortar and embed it thoroughly. Flatten the sheet with the flat side of your trowel. Clean excess mortar with a damp sponge to keep the surface and seams clean. Apply mortar to the inside wall to floor corner, then set inside corner membrane piece into the wet mortar. Embed and flatten with the trowel. Repeat this process to the adjacent corners. Next, trowel modified thinset mortar onto the shower floor with the side of the pan using a 1/4 inch by 3/8 of an inch square notch trowel. Apply mortar to the underside of the curb, then set the curb in wet mortar. Press firmly to ensure proper contact. Install mortar on the inside face of the curb using a 1/4 inch by 3/16 of an inch V-notch trowel. Roll the membrane up the front face of the curb into the wet mortar. Embed the membrane using the flat side of the trowel, making sure all areas are fully bonded. Install mortar on the wall and across the curb. Set the outside corner piece over the curb, embed it, and flatten it for a watertight seal. Clean off any excess mortar with a damp sponge. Apply mortar to the top, inside, and outside face of the curb. Install sheet membrane into the wet mortar across the entire curb and embed it thoroughly. Flatten it for full adhesion. Complete the installation of the remaining inside corner pieces. Remove the temporary drain cover. Finally, place the linear drain into the shower pan flange to complete your assembly.